It's time for us to get our learning on. It is that time. And I'm going to go ahead and say that the next couple of videos, they're going to be some soapbox moments because some of this has gotten to a point where, we all feel how we feel about particular topics. And the one concerning passive income is a thorn in my side. I swear to Almighty, it is a thorn. So during this quick little lunch and learn, yeah, passive income, let's talk about it. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. I am Gwendolyn G.R. HouJack. I am we'll say creative, business owner, podcaster, all the things. Today I'm on a soapbox. I'm having a soapbox moment. And it's revolving around passive income. So I want to welcome you all into HouJack DMS Live Learning. It's been a little bit, right? I mean, it's been a little bit. We're just like a week off. We say we're a week off, but sometimes you have to do what's right for you. And I highly suggest that you follow that train of thought. Okay, so here's what we have for today. And as I said before, the coming weeks, we're going to get into a couple of things because it's the beginning of the year. And at the beginning of the year, a lot of us want to do so much to change our life from what happened last year. And many times our finances tend to be one of those areas that we really want to strengthen, make stronger, just tighten up on, like all of that. Next to exercising and taking better care of ourselves, putting a handle on our finances is part of it. So passive income is, in my opinion, one of the buzzwords and the phrases I want to have die a Viking death. I want it gone. I want it gone so badly because there are a lot of people out there who are using the term and, in my opinion, a very strong opinion, giving out false information. We said this before last year. We talked about how there are particular people who prey on a certain set of citizens, persons. There are those of us who need a little extra income. There are those of us who are retired, who are trying to stretch out our retirement. There are those of us who, despite having a 2-salary income households, are still feeling the pressure. So there's a number, and I'm going to speak to the American society right now because that's what I know, number of Americans that are feeling financial pressure. And so the dream of having this extra income that you don't have to work for, that you can go to bed and wake up with $2.7 million in your checking account. Sounds pretty good, right? Sounds pretty good. So I'm going to say it. And whenever I have a strong feeling about something, I like to use double negatives. I like to use slang. I'm going to use improper grammar. So that ain't passive income. Yeah. Okay, so here's our topics. What is passive income? And we decided to go to a reliable source, i.e. the IRS. Because if anyone is going to really describe it, define it, in my opinion, properly, it's going to be them people. It's going to be them people right there, right? I want to talk about the real deal about extra income because, in case you hadn't picked up on it, the ideas currently floating around on TikTok and Instagram and everywhere else, YouTube included, those ideas of saying this is passive income. Okay, it's extra income. And we're gonna make a clear distinction between the two. And then also be aware of the dollar and a dream. That's my New York coming out of me right there. A dollar and a dream, you can win the New York lottery. Yeah, I had the dollar, I had the dream. I don't have the winnings still. So be aware of that. So we'll talk about that too. So let's get into what is passive income. And we're looking at it from the definition, the IRS. It's regular earnings from a source other than an employer or a contractor, i.e., stuff that you're not working for. Like you don't have to work for this. So rental income is one, right? Business activities in which the earner does not materially participate, i.e., you're not working. You're not working. Interest or savings, earnings from investments like an Airbnb, rental property, dividends, book royalties, stock dividends, all of that stuff. Like if you own land and that land produces money for you, that's passive because you literally just wake up and the money's in the bank account, right? Like when you get your stock dividends, it just shows up. If you're renting a place, now an Airbnb, although it is an earning from an investment, somebody still has to clean it, but maybe you're paying for somebody to do that, right? You yourself are not actively involved in keeping up the Airbnb. Or you have rental properties across the US or what have you. These are ways of making passive income because you're not actively working to get that income. The money just shows up like clockwork. Regular earnings, not, okay, we missed a month. Regular earnings, royalties, every month shows up, right? That that's passive income, according to the IRS. Now, when you get other people involved, now I'm gonna have to sip on something today. I'm gonna have to sip on something. There's no alcohol in here. I should clear the statement. I just wanna distress like cappuccino. So that's my something. When you get other people, what we like to do is morph and meld a definition to fit our purposes. And I'm going to say this, there are a lot of people who are morphing this definition to fit their purpose of selling someone, perhaps you, a product to help you make passive income. A product which can even be an idea on how to create passive income. They're going to change the definition to fit their end goal, their end game, which is helping them make money. So what others are now saying is that this passive income is now being looped into what is truly extra income, i.e., income from another job or let's say side hustle. And I hate the word side hustle. I absolutely hate it, but I'm going to use it today. People will often use passive income loosely to say that it requires little to no work. So it's passive. When you get a check from your stock dividends, beyond you selecting that some time ago, you have not worked at all. Again, if you hire a team to manage your rental properties, you're not working that property. You're not working. That really is passive, right? You wrote a book or you sold something and you're getting monthly royalties. Even if it was inherited, that's passive because you didn't have to work for that. You just got it because it was part of your family. It's given to you. So when people say that this is revenue that seems to require little or no effort, the key word there is seems. Because the whole point of this dream is to make it seem as if you don't have to do anything, but just show up. Just show up and the money magically appears. Seems, which means it is not. It's false. So passive income, as said, is often combined with another source of income, as in a side job, or you have another part-time job. You're working. And so these ideas, this is work. When you sell that online course, you had to make that, that's working. When you monetize a blog, you had to write that blog, that's working. When you become an influencer, you got to get out there and create the content, that is called working. When you write and sell ebooks, you have to market that, that is called working. When you're freelancing on Upwork, that is definitely working. When you open an e-commerce store, someone has to manage it, that's called working. When you're completing surveys, yeah, that's time, that's working. This is all extra income. It's extra income. I get that we would love, again, those people who are selling you this idea would love for you to believe that this is just passive. Like you don't have to work for this. It's working, people. Make no mistake about it. You are working. It's extra income. Here's the real deal about extra income. And we've all had it. I mean, I could be wrong. Maybe we all have not had it. I have had to have it. I had a place where, college kid, I'm working the part-time job and working another part-time job. And when I was underemployed, I had a part-time job and I was looking for another part-time job. And that's how my photography business came about. I needed extra income. That's not passive. It's not passive at all. Because at any point you are picking up fingers and toes and making them do something. That's called work. It's work. Passive income means you are not working, right? Not. I mean, I guess if you had to manage the team that's managing your properties, but even that's. But the idea that you're gonna sell this online course. And let's go with that one because that's a big one. It's a big one. I know there were a lot of them. The e-commerce store, what was that? Drop shipping, right? That was another one that was like, oh, it's so easy. Everybody can do it. Let's do the online course first because you got to create the course. And yes, we know that you can, for a simple $40, you too can be a coach and sell your own online course. Okay, so where are you selling it? And who's buying it? And why would they buy yours versus the other 1,000 that are out there? And look, this person, you guys actually bought from the same person. They didn't even change the colors either. So it looks quite similar. You have to market that online course. You got to market it. If you're creating from scratch, you have to create it from scratch. Got to figure out where you're going to market. I mean, there's perhaps a little bit of investment that's in this, just a little beyond time, because you paid the $40 to get the course, to make a course, to be an instant coach, right? And I'm not saying that you probably don't have the skill set, the aptitude, and the know-how to be a coach. I'm not saying that. What I am saying, though, is you have made some sort of initial dollar investment. And they're never really way out of pocket. This is the part that absolutely not only breaks my heart, but infuriates me. Because most of the persons who are looking for this extra income, who are hoping and wishing for a way to make a few more dollars, are already close to breaking the bank. So the $30, the $40, that $100, that doesn't seem like much to the person that is pitching this dream. It is a great deal for the family or the student or the retired grandmother, grandfather, the at-home father, the at-home mother, whomever. That's a big chunk that they're about to invest in this dream of magical passive income. Is huge. I said it once, I'm going to say it again. There are people in all fields who prey on those who are in a position that they just need that one break. They prey on them. Coaches do it. These, I'll help you whenever, they do it. There are people who sleep as sound as a baby, knowing that they have just pitched this dream. Now, here's the part that I'm going to assume helps them sleep well. The dream works, provided you do your part to make the dream work. And that is work. You creating this online course doesn't magically give you $1 million. You creating or writing an ebook doesn't magically bring you customers. You creating a Shopify store and choosing product doesn't magically bring you money. It does not. It is a job. If you want to be an influencer, yeah, you're still working. It's a job. You got to get up like everybody else in a 9 to 5 or a 12 to 10, 7 to 4. I don't care what your hours are. You still got to get up. Put in the work. make the content, post the content, market the content, talk to the people. There's work. This is called working. None of this ain't none of that passive. It's very active. Very, very active. So there is the initial dollar investment. There's the marketing of the idea. And what if, let's say that you are the person who decided to take your skills to Etsy, this worldwide bazaar. What happens when your idea is no longer in vogue? It is now out of style. I'm a photographer, and from time to time, I buy room mock-ups, layouts to promote my photography. You know how many times I go on Etsy and I see some of these layouts on sale because they're no longer the popular layout, which means the person who is selling them is sitting down at a computer somewhere creating more layouts. Knock, knock, that's called work. It's work. Managing your Etsy store is work. Don't care how you want to frame it. People can say whatever they want to say. None of that is passive because that's time. That time for creation, that's called work. So it would be so much better, but clearly not easier for the people who are selling you this pipe dream to just say, here are some extra income ideas. But I get it. Right now, the buzzword is passive because people, again, they assume that this seemingly requires little to no effort to make all of this money. And they're going to find you the people who have made the $2.7 million in their sleep. They're going to find those examples and promote them. This could be you. You could do it too. It's easy. But they don't tell you how long it took to get to that 2.7 million. How many times they had to start and stop and create new products that finally hit, and how much real time, how much sweat equity was put into the products that eventually got them that 2.7 million. They don't tell you that. And it didn't happen overnight. It took them 6-7 months. 6-7 months of consistently doing something that eventually resonated with an audience somewhere. They don't tell you that. So the dollar and a dream. Before I put this soapbox away. For those of you who are New Yorkers or remember back in the day, the New York Lotto jingle slogan was, it takes $1 and a dream. It does take $1. I got plenty dreams. I need them numbers though. I need those right numbers. Because without those right numbers, I still have $1 and a dream. Well, actually I lost $1 because I spent it. Trying to get the right amount. Here's the deal. It's going to take more than $1 and a dream to make your extra income idea work. Let me back up. If you have the opportunity to make some investments, then make those investments. Be it land, be it another business. There are legit ways that you can invest and create passive income for yourself, right? I know a few folks who inherited land and property rights. There's different ways to create legit passive income for yourself, multiple ways. So research those. I highly suggest going to a reliable resource when you do that. And that, I'm going to say, is not your neighbor. Okay? Don't ask your neighbor. Don't ask your neighbor. Don't ask your friends. I'm going to suggest some financial advisors. I don't have any that I would suggest for you because everyone has to find their own person. But I suggest going to a financial advisor of some sort to help you with that. But until that time, if you want to generate extra income, my advice there is be realistic about it. Really consider how much money you can invest in this idea because you're going to invest money. There's going to be a little bit of something that you need to invest beyond your time to make this extra income work for you. Just be aware of that. Go into this knowing this is not going to be an overnight thing, that is not going to be instant gratification. There is no microwave in here. This is going to be like every other business idea. Give it like 6 months minimum before you see something, because you're going to have to promote whatever it is that you're selling. You're going to have to get in there, do some maintenance, pick out the products, figure out who your customer is, determine where you want to do X, Y, and Z. That's work involved. If you already have a full-time job, and I am a person who from 2009 up until 21 took my side job to create extra income, made it into a legit business, and really honed in on it before we stepped away to make it a full-time career. Could I have pulled the trigger way back when? Yeah, but I was already at a place where I was homeless. And a dear friend loaned me her sofa for 4 years. I mean, I could have bought a bed, but I didn't want to give in like that. For 4 years, slept on her sofa so I could figure it out, get my stuff together to make it into what it is today. Takes time. Takes time. If you're the person who wants to follow trends, be advised that if you're coming in at the low end of the trend, i.e. on its way out, you're not going to get the same bang and buck as the person who jumped in on the trend at the beginning. It's like all those other pyramid schemes, those multi-level marketing. If you're at the bottom of the pyramid, you're lucky if you break even. My advice is this: go in with your eyes wide open. Question everything. Question the person who's even selling you the idea, right? Do your due diligence. Be a little suspicious is all I'm saying. You know, Virgos, some of us are highly suspicious. Everybody in my mind is a suspect. When I worked in retail, everybody was a suspect. Grandma and the grandkids pushing the stroller, suspect number one. And people are like, I can't believe. Here's why I did that. Quick little side note. Because when everyone's a suspect, everyone gets amazing service all the time. There is not one person who passed by me who didn't get this top-notch level service because I was checking the details. And just a quick side story, there was a gang of grandmas out there stealing some stuff back in the day. I'm not going to say where, I'm not going to say when. All I know is they were doing it. So please don't believe that old granny can't be gully when she need to. Okay? Let me end with this as we wrap up our lunch. I want people to live their best life. And clearly I took my side job and made it into a full business. So we know it's possible, but I also know that it took time and money. And I am the person who believes in working the full-time job to support and fund your future dream. That's where I stand on that. Okay? But if I say nothing else to you, passive income does not require you to work, because it is passive. It is dividends. It's royalties. It's rental properties just sending you money. If you were doing anything other than selling your e-course, being an influencer, freelancing, all those things, operating your Shopify store, you, my dear friend, now have a side job to create extra income, and I am here for it. We'll have videos about that later. Until then, let me wrap it up and tell you that you should get our newsletter. Go over to HouJackDMS.com. We do a bi-weekly newsletter. We are not one to just dump stuff into your inbox. I am an organizer, so we're not doing that, but we are giving you really great details, both for your career and to manage your small business, so that you don't waste your time and your money. It's nothing like losing some money. And I've only lost a little, but I know of others who have lost a great deal. And it hurts. So hitch on over to HouJack DMS, get our newsletter. Want to thank you all for watching. Another episode of HouJack DMS Live Learning, where we are bringing to you some really good information. We're going to keep it real. And if I could save one more person from losing their time and their money and their heart and their soul behind a really horrible idea, then I am going to do it. Until then, we'll see you guys in 2 weeks. Enjoy the day.